I have a question for you. Who arrived by train? Quite some. Okay, and what do you think? How many people do the same every day in Germany? Just guesses. Pardon? Little bit. 20 million? Okay.
We had 2 million over here.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Not bad. It's actually 7 million people per day. So roughly 8% of Germany's residents do that every day. Also, we move over 1 million tons of freight, also per day. So it's quite a big operation, and that mostly reliable on time and comfortable as we and especially our customers wish. Of course, not everything is always going smoothly, we all know that, but at least we as the AM service department of Deutsche Bahn consider us as part of the solution to getting better. Also, yeah, it's quite a large company, 300,000 fellow colleagues, 140 countries we're active in, 8 business units, and that in personal transport or people transport, also in maintenance of trucks and vehicles, and also in cargo. So quite a huge range of possible applications for AM, and we want to tell you a little bit about some. I'm Helge Schneevogt, technology scout for AM in our team, and as well application engineer, so on a daily basis involved in AM use cases, and I brought my colleague Antonia.
Okay. Thank you so much, Helge. Yeah, my name is Antonia Knabe. I'm a project engineer for additive manufacturing at Deutsche Bahn, and I mainly work at the interface between engineering and marketing, so I'm responsible for the internal company communication. So every day I try to leverage the potential of 3D printing in our whole company. Yes, and as a maintainer of rolling stock and infrastructure, we have to keep a very durable asset in good shape. And some of our infrastructure is over 100 years old, and that also applies for some rolling stock. And also nowadays the modern trains, they have a lifetime of up to 40 years. But our OEMs, they only guarantee us the supply of spare parts for 15 years. So you see, 40 years is a lifetime, 15 years they supply us with spares, and after these 15 years, it is our own problem. So we have a lot of obsolescence cases, and in the railway sector, that often means low quantities. And that's where additive manufacturing comes into play for us, because it's like the sweet spot of AM. And actually we started, or we are involved with 3D printing for quite some time now. We started, as you can see here, we might move a bit. We started in 2015. Maybe I will go over here. And we gradually worked up to 100,000 spare parts until now. And we cover over 500 different applications. We use 12 different technologies. We mainly print plastic, but also metals. We also print some more exotic materials like elastomers. But we brought some nice cases with us today. And on this slide, you might see a lot of red. You maybe think of child toys or children toys, very red and colorful. But we want to focus today on tooling, so on jigs and fixtures that are 3D printed. And for us, it's really not child's play. We take this topic very seriously, because for us, the 3D printed tools are just as valuable to us as the 3D printed spare parts, because the saving effects are in the millions, and they're almost like as big as with the spare parts we print. And I brought a highlight project from last year with us, and yeah, that is a jig, and we had to we printed that in 18 different variations for these feedback stickers you might have seen on the train, and 250,000 of these stickers were applied, and we also took some time measurements, and with this little jig we could save around approximately 1 million euros. So you see, it's a little helper with a great impact. On this slide, it's also a nice case. It's actually a TPU case. It's a TPU protection cover. We printed that on a Formlabs Fuse 1 Plus. And that tool comes into play when we install a luggage rack. And this luggage rack, you see, it is very sharp-edged. It's very heavy. And during this installation, sometimes the wall panels on the side get scratched. And it took a lot of time to fix it. Sometimes they have to be fixed. Sometimes they have to even changed out again. And it costs us in production around 50 euros and saves in each case around 5,000 euros. So, and in a train we don't only have one luggage rack, we have a lot of luggage racks, and we have different train models. So you see the effect. This one is also a handy application. It's actually a multi-purpose mount or a modular mount for a hand scanner. Seems easy, but our workers in our warehouse staff, they use a scanner on a daily basis, but in different situations. You can imagine maybe when they're driving a forklift, when they're driving on a bike, they just go through the warehouse, but they can just put it on the belt, fix it on or mount it on a forklift and that stuff. So we can, with this mount, we can make our workers' life a little bit easier. On this slide you can see a very little helper. These are actually the transparent ones, are painting plugs, and I think every one of you maybe has painted a wall and the taping is this. It sucks. So it takes a lot of time. It's really annoying. And with this painting plugs, it's easier. Before we start painting, it's inserted in the hole. This flexible material, like this transparent part, we printed on a Formlabs Form 3. It's an SLA printer. These are inserted, then the train is painted, and afterwards we remove it with the red one, that's the FFF printed tool, and we get these out afterwards. This one is actually one of our biggest tools, and it's an exhaust air duct. It's used to clean the air ducts of a train. And on the right-hand side, like in this picture, in the middle picture, you see the original one. And this one is so the one that we constructed a lightweight air duct. It's one of our biggest applications, but it's much smaller and much lighter than the original air duct, which is out of sheet metal. The one on the right-hand side weighs 15 kilograms, the new one only around 6, and now it can be used by only one person and not two, so it's much lighter. The work economics are improved, and also another advantage of this case is if it drops down, it doesn't break because it's also out of TPU, but also like the other one, when it fell down, it was also a safety hazard because you can imagine 15 kilograms is, you don't want that, and it also bends, so you could not reuse it again. And so this one is reusable, it's much lighter, and we could fix a lot with that. See something out of metal, we printed something out of TPU, but Helge, do we also have some printed metal tools at DB?
Indeed, Antonia. We also have metal toolings in place. For example, this adapter flange you can see here. It's actually a topology optimized tool topology optimization is very rare with us, as we are a highly regulated industry and also a maintainer of approved infrastructure and vehicles. So we are not allowed to change the geometry usually and have to reproduce parts as they are. But in that case, now thing out of a vehicle, but in the maintenance depot, we had this option, and this is for calibrating certain brake valves. And the topology optimization not only saves weight, but also drastically improves the airflow. You can see this here on that draft. We had to drill holes in the rectangle, so in a 90-degree angle. And as you can imagine, the flow around a 90-degree corner is way worse than having nice bends flowing into each other. That's the reason why we took this. So yeah, also a good improvement out of metal for our maintenance staff. Another interesting application is this tool you see here in the middle, also printed on a Formlabs Use 1 machine with very nice details, very delicate details also. And this part is not designed in a conventional CAD software. It was designed in a very handy tool. Our colleague Sven is tell you in the next presentation a little bit more about it. It is the fixture made tool by Trinkle. It's a very easy to use browser-based tool to generate really nice fixtures like this. You can then print on your desktop machine or Formlabs machine or whatever you have on hand. And for example, position this milk pump just the way you need it on your workbench to work on it. And this is done in minutes, the design. So great improvement there also in the design phase. But also, yeah, you can see all the details came out very nicely. And where do we do this? Well, we have a lot of great printing service bureaus on hand. We're doing very good cooperation with, but also we now established 2 sites where we manufacture our parts, our jigs and fixtures, as well as end-use parts. For example, here on the left in Neumünster, you can see we have 2 Formlabs Use 1 Pluses, as well as a Form 3. And we're very happy with these machines. Also, we have 2 industrial FFF printers, only used for end-use parts in a certified environment. And yeah, this is our one big polymer production facility, and the other is here on the right-hand side in Nuremberg, also equipped with a large format printer of 1 cubic meter and several other desktop printers. And Nuremberg is also our competence center for tooling. Many use cases you saw were developed there, and our colleagues there are the internal experts and maybe also ready for additional questions. But we want more. You've seen we have 100,000 parts already printed and in operation, but this is only for 500 use cases. But we've seen the big potential we have inside the company, and with this huge variety of different applications, we think we need 10,000 use cases up until 2030, which is roughly 10% of the parts we have in stock. You have to imagine we have billions worth of spare parts in our stocks. Not millions, it is actually over 1 billion. And this is a huge amount of bound capital. As you can imagine, as these are many specialty parts, when you order them, you not only have pretty long ordering times, but you also have the problem that you have often pretty large MOQs, minimum order quantities. And you sometimes need to over-order than you need. So we want a production on demand, especially for these low-volume specialty parts, where AM comes into play. So that's our big vision we're working on now, and already took the first steps. So what's for takeaway? We have a very, very large variety of different applications. we not only print spares, but also tools which are equally important to us as they manage to get even cost-saving effects as the spare parts. And we are very happy to use Formlabs and other machines for that, with great results like you see with the sticker applying jigs and the other use cases Antonia just showed you. So we are now open for questions and are very thankful for the attention and your time, and yes, are happy to answer. Thanks very much.
Thank you.